Yes, and welcome to B&B's Football Happy Hour. We are back. We are bearded. Obviously, we're beautiful. We're hitting you on a Monday night edition. I am Bobby, as always, joined with my man Brian.
What's going on? Yep, hitting you with the Monday night special because we got the holidays coming up, so everybody's traveling and whatnot. So we figured we'll knock it out a day early.
That's right. So we'll be able to recap all the games from Week 11, except for Monday Night Football. And as always, our beats when we roll in here are provided by Dunson. And what is this, week 32 for us?
Yeah, I think this is episode 32. So getting there, getting that content in the books here. So yeah, it's good to keep doing our thing, and gets better and better every week, I think.
Yeah, and again, I know we were just talking before we got on the air here, but we got the Monday Night Football game playing in the background, so they catch us glancing over at our TVs periodically. It's weird having that game going on in the background.
Yeah,
gonna have
distracting.
to make sure we stay focused, right?
Yeah,
I know.
distracting. I got a lot of. I was talking to you before. I have a lot of playing against a lot of Buccaneers tonight, so I don't need them to score 45 points tonight. So hopefully not.
I just need Godwin to get a point and Leonard Fournette to get less than 10, and I'm good.
Okay, so we both have a little bit going on tonight. So yeah, we might be peaking occasionally.
Well, buddy, I have some great news for you and for our listeners out there. A surprise that you don't know about.
All right.
We have our first official sponsor for the podcast.
Okay.
Yes, we are now sponsored by Diaper Dust.
There we go.
A brand new product on the market. And anyone and everyone out there who has a kid in diapers, this is something that you absolutely need. I have spent my little man still in diapers. We're getting to the point we don't need him anymore, but I cannot tell you how many, not just trash bags I've thrown away, but just trash cans I've thrown away because the trash can is ruined. We tried Genies, and I mean, they waste a bunch of bags anyway. Diaper Dust is a product that you just sprinkle from the container right into the soiled diaper, and you can throw that bad boy away anywhere, any trash can. You can leave it on a countertop if you want to. Does not matter. It's an incredible product. So check it out, thediaperdust.com. Again, that's thediaperdust.com. It's on Instagram. It's on Facebook now. Hop on the website, get yourself some, or anyone you know that has a kid in diapers, they need this. Trust me. So very excited to have an official sponsorship with the program here. Diaper Dust. Yeah.
Make for a good stocking stuffer. So
that's right. We are.
Get it for those people with young kids.
We're officially official now. We got sponsorships and everything else. All right, buddy. I tell you what, as terrible as a quarterback position was last week, I know I brought up that there were 11 quarterbacks that threw for less than 200 yards. We had a bounce back week, and we only had 5 quarterbacks go under that threshold this past week. And obviously, any stats that I'm talking and throwing out there and rankings does not take tonight's game into account. So the Rams and the Buccaneers aren't accounted for in this. Even Cam Newton threw for over 300 yards. And, I mean, he doesn't do that very often. So it was nice to have a bounce-back week for our QBs.
Yeah, they had a better week this week. I think old Cam, didn't he? He was 365 or something like that. So he was almost a little bit shy of 400. So that's almost 2 weeks for him. So
he's still – you're absolutely right. He still only had 1 passing touchdown.
Yeah, I think he has, like 4 or 5 for the year. It's crazy, but – Herbert. I mean, I know he had almost 400, didn't he? He had like 366 or something like that. And
he had 277 in the first half.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go for like 450, but
they didn't really.
Because that game was, I mean, we'll talk about it, but that game stayed pretty close. So I thought he could probably scratch the 400.
Well, they jumped ahead. They were like 24-6, I think, at one point. And the Jets started coming back, oddly enough. But like you said, we'll talk about that. And I think going hand in hand with the quarterback resurgence of last week, the tight ends are trying to make a comeback as well. Now, only 8 guys scored in double digits last week, but that number jumped to 14 tight ends in double-digit points this week. And like we said, 2 more teams play tonight, so that number could go up as well. And if you remember – back in weeks 1 and 2, the tight ends started out the year on fire. 16 went for double-digit points in week 1, and 19 went for double digits in week 2. We've seen a drop off of that lately, but this past week was a good resurgence for the tight end position.
Yeah, I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I mean, if you're in an ESPN league, I guess Taysom Hill could have been started at tight end. So
I'm not counting him.
I posted on our Facebook page, I guess, an hour before the show here tonight. But I guess ESPN's tired of hearing it, and they're going to make him quarterback eligible only this week, which should have been the case last week. But
I mean, they didn't have a choice because 11 of 12 teams in every league were angry about it and yelling about it and complaining about it. The only person not was whoever started Taysom. And I saw a bunch of folks posting on my timeline and stuff that even the people are starting Taysom Hill in the flex position or tight end, even they were like, man, this just doesn't even feel right.
Yeah. Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, I guess. So
all right.
Take it as it is. I don't know. Take it as it is. I don't know. I mean, you can look at it either way. I mean, 11 out of 12 people are mad or 9 out of 10 people are mad, but is it – I mean, I bet you every one of them would have did it. They just didn't do it fast enough. So, I don't know. I guess you're mad because you I got the alert on my phone, I guess, when I was at work. But, I mean, I didn't pick him up, I guess, in my ESPN leagues. But I know people did, so it is what it is. But luckily I didn't play against him, so I don't have to worry about it too much. So I'm not that mad about it. So It is what it is.
All right, well, let's turn back the clock to last Thursday, my friend. The Cardinals and the Seahawks. It was not the fantasy explosion that we were all hoping for. It wasn't a total dud either, but I think there was a lot of meat left on the bone. Kyler Murray didn't look great. He was 269-2, only 15 rushing yards, and I don't know, he didn't look very comfortable during that game. The Seahawks surprisingly were able to get after him a little bit. Kenyon Drake had a whopping 29 yards rushing, but he did have a touchdown and 4 catches for 31. Larry Fitzgerald, old man Fitz, led the team in catches and yards, 8 for 62, because DeAndre Hopkins only went 5 for 51. Christian Kirk was 4 for 50. I think this is the first time in like the last 5 games or something he was held under 75 yards or without a touchdown. So he was on a pretty good streak there, but still 4 for 50 from Christian Kirk. I mean, that's not too bad. And then Edmonds and Dan Arnold, they were the ones that caught the touchdown passes. So that really didn't help too many people unless you were starting Chase Edmonds in your flex.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, this is I expected a lot more out of this game. I mean, it was still a good game, I guess, just normal football-wise. But, I mean, fantasy football-wise, I had Kyler, I had DeAndre on one of my teams. And like you said, I mean, I think Murray – I don't know what happened to him. I mean, it looked like he had some kind of shoulder injury. He kept going to the sideline, and they were putting some kind of heating pad up his arm or something like that.
Hard, but, I mean, he was still throwing and everything. He just didn't even look right in the pocket.
Yeah, he looked flustered. I mean, he was running around a little bit. He looked kind of flustered. They were getting to him. This was definitely his worst, I guess, rushing performance of the year. But, man, I thought Russ might have did a little better. I mean, he played pretty good, but, I mean, he was still held for under 200, I think, and –
well, he was
like 197. Yeah, he was efficient.
23 for 28.
Yeah, he was. And I don't know, Metcalf, I mean, he had that 41-yard pass that they brought back. So, I mean, his numbers could have been a little bit better. And
Metcalf got hit in the face with a touchdown.
Yep,
I mean, Russell threw it right and hit him right in the face mask.
Yeah. Tyler Lockett had a pretty good game. I thought Carlos Hyde looked pretty good. I mean, he had 79 yards, touchdown. Yeah, he looked really good. So,
He averaged 5.6 yards a carry, and that was something he wasn't known for. He has never really been known for, was having, great average yards per carry. When he produced, it was usually just because he didn't have a choice. They gave him, 20 touches or whatever for whatever team he was on. But he did very well with against the Seahawks. Like I said, 5.6 yards a carry and a touchdown. And then Lockett. I was going to say Lockett. He was a go-to guy. He got all 9 of his targets for 67 yards and a touchdown. DK, you said 46 yards receiving, 3 catches and a TD. Should have had another one, and that big gain that got called back.
Yeah, tough game. I don't know. I mean, it was a good game. It's just some of your fantasy stars, everybody starts, just had kind of average games, I would say. So it is what it is. It's a good division game. I guess they split this one, right? Because a couple weeks ago, the Cardinals won that other game. So, yeah. Seems about right. That's a tough division out there. So, yeah, I'm sure they might meet up again, maybe in the playoffs or something. So we'll see. I don't know.
And I wonder do you know who's leading the NFC West now? Because the Cardinals were leading going in because they had the same record.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Did it? Well,
Yeah, I don't know
so
how
the
that goes.
Seahawks are the Seahawks. Do they have the lead in the NFC West now?
They might. Yeah, I didn't look today, but I don't know how that goes because they both have the same record, right? And they both won or 1-1 against each other. So I guess it's whoever has the better. I don't know who has more conference or division wins. I don't know. Might be the
Anyway,
Seahawks.
next game were the Steelers and the Jaguars, and that went just about how we thought it would. The Jaguars are not good. The Steelers are kind of good, as evidenced by their undefeated record, and they won 27-3. So that really was kind of a joke. And Big Ben, I mentioned this either last week or the week before, that the Steelers are really throwing the ball a lot. And he had another 46 attempts, I think it was. And even coming out of halftime, they were up big, and he still had another 24 pass attempts after halftime. And it was, I don't know, it's kind of confusing, but 2 touchdowns and a pick for him. I don't know. James Conner, he had 89 yards rushing, over 6 yards a carry, almost 7 yards a carry. They only had 13 rushes. I don't know why they're not giving him the ball. I don't know why, especially with these big leads that Big Ben is throwing the ball everywhere. But give the ball to James Conner. Let him get some more production. And Benny Snell, of course, sneaks in there and steals a touchdown away. Now, Deontay Johnson, I mentioned him last week with playing the A.J. Brown role, or A.J. Brown, the Antonio Brown role. 16 targets for Deontay Johnson, 12 catches, 111 yards. Chase Claypool found the end zone with 4 catches for 59 yards. Eric Ebron has run, I think, the 8th most pass routes of any tight end in the league this year. And he ended up scoring, I think, his 4th touchdown of the season. 4 catches for 36 yards. Poor Juju. It was Juju Smith-Schuster's birthday, and he went 4 catches for 19 yards, and I think he got hurt his toe or hurt his foot or something like that. So I feel bad for him. And then the Jaguars, not much to talk about. Luton, the 6th-round rookie quarterback, he played like a 6th-round rookie quarterback. 151 yards passing and 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. James Robinson was again the only player in a Jaguars uniform to record a carry, 17 for 73. And DJ Chark was a leading receiver, 4 catches for 41 yards. And
yeah, man, Steelers, I don't know. They're 10-0, but I mean, man, every week they just play some sorry team after sorry team every week, besides the Ravens, I guess. But I mean, we can touch on that later. But I guess they're an average team now at best. But man, they beat up on the NFC East. I mean, every week it's Jaguars, it's somebody else that they just kind of do this to. But I did watch a little bit of this game. I mean, Big Ben, he had good numbers. Some of the plays he had, or some of his throws, I think the Jags dropped like a pick 6 in the opening half. So they dropped, I forget who it was, but yeah, it was like a surefire pick 6. The dude dropped it, and he did throw another interception, I think, in the opening half. So, I mean, he made some bad throws, but I mean, all in all, I guess he won. Like you said, I would have thought they could have used Connor with, I don't know, 25 carries this week or something like that. I mean, why not? Why does Big Ben need to throw the ball almost 50 times a game against the Jags? I mean, it's just kind of crazy. But
I know you had those awesome receivers, but just hand the ball off, bleed the clock, and get out of there.
It's true. I mean, that's true. And man, Claypool, I mean, he didn't have a huge numbers, but I mean, he had 4 for 59, but he scored a touchdown. I think they said it was his 10th score of the year. So, I mean, man, he's kind of up there, I think, and one of the top. And we don't really, I mean, we talk about him, but we always talk about Justin Jefferson and T. Higgins and all those guys. But man, Claypool, I think
he gets red zone looks, that's for sure.
For sure, man. And I know he's ran a few in this year. He had that one against the Eagles. He ran in. I think he has another rushing touchdown. So, man, he's up there too, I guess, with those rookie receivers that are killing it this year. So
that's a good point. He definitely gets left out for sure.
Yeah, because we love. I mean, and they're all good, but I mean, we just kind of. I don't know. We might not show him enough love, I guess. And Claypool, I mean, kid's got 10 touchdowns his rookie year. That's pretty nuts. So,
well, Brian, you can love Chase Claypool all you want.
Yeah.
You spread your love and on the show for Chase Claypool.
I do he's a good. I mean, I didn't think because he's a guy. I mean, he was good in college at Notre Dame, but he wasn't. I mean, he didn't put up numbers like Jefferson or Higgins from LSU and Clemson, but I mean, he was a good player at Notre Dame. So, but he might turn up to be a better NFL player, which is crazy, I guess. But hey, good for him.
Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see.
And the next game was also very disappointing as far as fantasy goes, at least for one team, and that was the Lions-Panthers game. The Lions got shut out, and I think I heard the announcer say it was the first time in Stafford's career that he's been shut out of a game that he started, and it was ugly. 178 yards for Stafford, obviously no touchdowns. Hawkinson, 4 catches for 68, so you'll take that from the tight end position. Marvin Jones, no one to throw to besides these two guys. Jones only ended up with 4 catches for 51 yards, and as a team, they only had 185 total yards. Now, the Panthers, they had a backup QB in there, P.J. Walker, and he did okay, I think. 258 yards passing, a touchdown, 2 picks, but you kind of expect at least an interception or 2 from a rookie stepping in there. Not much notice. Mike Davis gets you 64 yards on the ground and a touchdown. DJ Moore was the go-to guy, 7 catches, 127. And I think this is something to remember in case Walker has to play again. If Teddy Bridgewater sits out another week, this might be the guy that PJ goes to. Curtis Samuel got back on the map after his terrible week last week. He went 8 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown. And then Robbie Anderson got you 7 for 46.
It was kind of a weird game. I mean, I definitely, like you said earlier, I didn't expect the Panthers to win 20-0. It's kind of one of those crazy games this year. But yeah, man, like you said, Walker's he was Mr. XFL. I think he was like the XFL MVP through like the 5 weeks that they played.
That's right.
And I guess he played at Temple, so I think he played with Matt Rule. So I mean, I guess that's kind of why he's there. So. I guess he's pretty familiar with the offense. So, yeah, and like you said, I have DJ Moore on a few teams, and I decided to bench him this week, and he got 19 points. So it's great for me to have 19 sitting on the bench. But man, I didn't think, you just never know with these guys coming in, these rookie QBs or these young QBs just kind of filling in. You don't never know who's going to be the guy. And he looked like he was targeting Moore and Samuel a little bit in this game. So.
I know I started Lions defense in a league or two trying to exploit the fact that this is PJ's first start, and it didn't pay off. I think I got a measly 6 points for my defense, which I guess you'll take. It's better than 0 or even negative points, but not good. You show your boy Bob Woods just scored a touchdown pass.
Yeah, old Robert Woods.
5 or 6 yard touchdown pass from Jared Goff. Yep.
We'll see what Brady does against that D.
So next we have the Pats. The Patriots lost to the Texans. Patriots are a weird team. They beat the Ravens. They lose to the Texans. Cam Newton, who, like you said before, he throws 365 yards. That's normally a 2-game stretch for him, maybe 3-game stretch for him, but he does it all in this game. And then he only had 3 carries for 6 yards. I don't know. Very weird, the game plans that the Patriots come up with, and it didn't work. But Damian Harris, he got 43 yards rushing and a touchdown. You thought it'd be a Jacoby Myers game because he's been the only receiver to catch any kind of passes in a Patriots uniform. But nope, Damiere Byrd, 6 catches, 132 yards and a touchdown. James White decided to show up. He went 6 catches for 64 yards. But Rex Burkhead left with an injury. So pay attention to that because if Burkhead is out, White is definitely the pass-catching guy for the Patriots. Now, the Texans, Deshaun Watson was good. It seemed like every time I looked up at the TV screen, he was avoiding the rush. He was getting yards with his legs. He threw for 344 yards and 2 touchdowns and got you 36 rushing yards and another TD. Meanwhile, Duke Johnson flopped again. This guy is not a lead back as much as I want him to be and as much as I love him for some unknown reason. 10 carries for 15 yards, 3 catches for 20. Not going to cut it, dude. Brandon Cooks, 4 for 85. He had a touchdown pass called back from a penalty, so that hurts you. Will Fuller went 6 for 80. Jordan Akins, 5 for 83. The problem with those tight ends is you never know who it's going to be. It could be Dan Fells one week and Jordan Akins the next week, so that's tough to pan. It's almost like the Colts situation with Burton and Mo Alley-Cox and Jack Doyle. So I try to stay away from that. Kiki Kuti and Randall Cobb combined for 4 catches, but 2 touchdowns as well. They each had 1. So come on, guys. Get Cooks in the end zone. Get Fuller in the end zone, people we actually have on our teams. Now, with that being said, Randall Cobb, I believe, left with an injury, and Kenny Stills is dealing with something as well. So if that's the case, I think they play on Thursday, this coming Thursday. But Kiki Kuti would be the number 3 receiver there. So if you're in a bind, you could check him out.
Yeah, it's another weird game, like you said. I don't know, man. I'm not going to criticize Belichick, but Houston's got the worst run defense in the league, and they come out and throw the ball a lot with Cam. I mean, I know they were down a lot in this game, but still, I mean, I don't know. I would have earlier in the game. I mean, I would have been trying to pound the ball more. I mean, they were trying to throw it, so I don't know if Belichick was trying to. I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to outsmart the Texans, I guess. Maybe by, maybe they thought they were going to come in and run with Harris and Cam, and they decided to throw it a little bit more. But it's kind of crazy that they looked so good one week, and then this week they just kind of looked flat. Didn't look good. You lose to the Texans. I know the Texans have been playing better ever since they fired old Bill O'Brien, but man, I thought the Patriots were going to make a little run and start kind of, right in the nick of time for the playoff towards the end of the season, and they dropped one they probably should have won. So, another tough game. And, Jacoby Myers, I picked him up, put him in a flex. He didn't get me a whole lot, so he might be back stashing on the bench. But I don't know, man. I think isn't Sony Michel coming back, I think, too, soon? So,
soon, yeah. I think he's activated off IR, probably back this coming week.
Yeah, who knows? He'll probably have 160 yards next week or something. So I don't know. It's crazy. I don't understand Belichick sometimes, but hey, the guy's the best, so we'll let him do his thing. But man, some of these games just kind of make you shake your head. I don't know. This was one of them.
Yep. Now the another one that made you shake your head, but I think in a good way, unless of course you're a Ravens fan, was the Titans and the Ravens in Baltimore. It was a nice, hard-fought game from both teams, and the Titans ended up winning with a Derrick Henry rushing touchdown. Henry is a Raven killer. They just cannot stop this guy. Not many teams can, but he is like their bugaboo. And they don't know – they can't tackle this guy. It's insane. Tannehill, 259 and 2 touchdowns with a pick plus 35 yards rushing. You'll take that if you start at Tannehill. Henry got you 28 carries, feed that guy the rock, 133 yards and a touch, that game-winning touch. Corey Davis, 5 for 113. He's had 500-yard receiving games in his 4-year career, and 3 of them have come this season. So that's good for him. Better late than never. A.J. Brown, only 4 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown, but this dude is a man. His touchdown catch, he had no business scoring, but he basically said, no, this is happening, and there's nothing the Ravens can do about it, and just muscled his way into the end zone. I love A.J. Brown. Watching him play is great. He is so big and strong. I mean, he's only 6'1", but he is stacked, and he's jacked, and he's strong, and he just refuses to get tackled, and I absolutely love it. Jonnu Smith got you 4 catches for 20 yards, which isn't much, but he did get you a touchdown, and these days that'll be a tight end one for you just about every week. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 17-29, 186, a touchdown and a pick, 51 yards on the ground. But, dude, if you started Joe Flacco and your opponent started Lamar Jackson, you would only have been in a 2-point hole. 2 points. Lamar Jackson only outscored Joe Flacco by 2 points. Come on. J.K. Dobbins, hey, let's make this guy our lead back. 15 carries, 70 yards, a touchdown. That's awesome. But he just tested positive for COVID. Him and Mark Ingram tested positive for COVID. So doubtful they're going to play Thursday against the Steelers. So pick up Gus Edwards if he's free in your league. Maybe even who's that little guy that Twitter loved a couple of years? Justice Hill. Justice, it's just probably going to be Gus Edwards and Justice Hill in that backfield. Mark Andrews is back. He's doing well finally. 5 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. And Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant was the next leading receiver. 4 catches for 28 yards. Ooh, that doesn't speak well for the Ravens wide receivers, but here we are.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, Ravens just man, tough couple weeks, and they're kind of
It's
snowballing
snowballing.
in the wrong way,
Yes.
man.
Yes.
And like you said, with Dobbins and Ingram, on the COVID list, there's no way they're going to be playing in 2-3 days. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
wow, they got to play the Steelers, and that's
Now, Gus Edwards did well against the Steelers last time,
he
so
did, but he could be one
still a
of
gamble to put him out there.
yeah, he could be one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be the main guy, so we'll see. You know what I'm saying? So he does good in that backup role, but is when he's the guy, is he going to produce? Pittsburgh probably obviously knows he's going to get a bulk of the carries this week, so they'll prepare for him. So I don't know. On a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, how worried are you about the Ravens? I mean, I'm probably at like an 8.5
Whew, I don't
about
know.
maybe not even making the playoffs at this point. I mean,
I'm probably 7.5. I don't know if I'm as worried
yeah.
as you, but it's up there, man. It's a lot higher than it should be.
Wow. And Mark Andrews, I mean, he must listen to the show because we kind of trashed him a couple of weeks ago about how he doesn't do
For good
nothing.
measure. I know. He's got a
And
couple
then
weeks
now
going
now a couple weeks stretch here, he's kind of back to the old 2019 Mark Andrews. So I guess that's one positive you can take. But Lamar, um, I don't know, just week after week, it's just kind of mediocre. I know he set the bar pretty high with his season that he had last year, but he just doesn't look that good. You know what I'm saying? He just looks off. And man, they're just losing games. And the Titans are another weird team. They'll drop a game to a team they should beat, and then they come out and beat the Ravens. And Derrick Henry, I don't know. He's like the ultimate closer. You know what I'm saying? You just put him
Yes.
in, and you just know he's going to just straight up run somebody over, and just he gets better with as the game goes on. We've talked about. I mean, he just he feeds off of that in game. He just loves that contact, I think, and he just gets better with every carry. So when he's getting 28 carries, you're in trouble because he's probably upwards of 125, 130 yards, and that's never good for the opposing team. And I don't know. I mean, look, I was looking back, and like you said, AJ Brown. I mean, this dude is a straight beast. And Ole Miss had DK Metcalf and AJ Brown.
How do they not win a national title? My God.
Both of these guys look like they could win Mr. Olympia, and then they're both like grown-ass men out on the field, and they're about 22, 23 years old. And Ole Miss was probably like 500 when they had them. I just don't understand how I don't know. I mean, wow. You could have the damn punter out there throwing to them, and they should have had.
You would think.
I guess, yeah. I don't know, man. SEC
Maybe
stuff,
maybe that's why was
Mm.
it Mike Leach had to go down there from
Man, if they had
Washington
Mike,
State. Isn't he down? Isn't that where he went? Ole Miss?
he's down there somewhere. It's either Ole Miss or Mississippi State. But damn, if he was the coach, I mean, they would have definitely did something with DK and AJ Brown and Mike Leach. I mean, that would have been something to see. But
Insane.
wow.
Well, the next game on the docket had very little good football actually being played, and that is the Eagles and the Browns.
Yeah, skip it.
Carson Wentz, 235, 2 touchdowns, and 2 more interceptions. Once again, he is holding on to the ball too long, and some throws, like his pick 6, are absolutely laughable. And we rip them every week, but a change needs to be made. Show us Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
There's no reason
something.
not to. And Doug Peterson came out just this morning, I think, and said, we can't go to Hurts. We're not ready for that yet. It shows the team that we're thrown in the towel. It shows the team that you're trying.
Mm-hmm.
Wentz out there is not working. It's not happening. If I was on the Eagles and I was a player, I mean, look, Carson Wentz, I love you off the field, man. You're a really nice fella, and you say all the right things and do all the right things off the field, but on the field, you're a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Jalen Hurts. Let's at least see what he has. I mean, good grief, you got 3 wins, and you're still leading the NFC East. You can't – nothing bad can happen. You put in Hurts and he does well, you win the NFC East, and it looks good, blah, blah, blah. If he doesn't do well and you lose the NFC East, you get a better draft pick, much closer where it should be, and instead of drafting in the 20s. Whoever wins the NFC East is drafting in the 20s.
Yeah.
And that's awful. It's not going to make your team any better. But anyway, Miles Sanders went for 66 yards and he had 3 catches for 15. Dallas Goedert was probably the only Eagle player in the Eagles uniform that actually looked decent. He had 5 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Reagor went 4 for 52. Richard Rodgers, he continues to get red zone looks. He had another touchdown this week. And then the Browns, I mean, Baker Mayfield was not much better than Carson Wentz. He only had 200 yards passing on barely 50% completions, but he didn't have any interceptions. Now, Nick Chubb, he was the best player on the field. 20 carries, 114. I know he broke a big run, so a lot of his yards came on that one run, but he still looked good. I mean, the Eagles' defense is good against the run, and he was still getting decent yardage on his rushes before that. So he's a good player. I really like watching him. No pass game worked for him. And then after single-handedly getting the ball all the way down the field, they put Kareem Hunt in, who had 13 carries for 11 yards, not even 1 yard a carry, and he gets the touchdown. I hate that. Jarvis Landry, 2 for 23. Kadero Hodge, 3 for 73. Only 5 guys caught a pass for the Browns, and no one had more than 3 catches. All the team stats were basically the same, even the exact same number of plays. They each had 65 plays, but Philly allowed 2 more sacks and had 2 more turnovers, and there's your loss.
Yeah, they gave it the safety there too, so that's 2 extra points. So, yeah, man, like you said, Chubb was definitely the best player on the field. I think the Eagles kind of bottled up Kareem Hunt. It looked like he did score a touchdown there in the beginning, and they called it back. They said his elbow was down there at the half-yard line, I think, on a 4th down.
Speaking
like
of touchdowns, your boy Mike Evans just got one.
Yeah, I did see him stretch across the goal line there. But, man, I don't know. The Eagles just, like you said, Dallas Goedert, I thought him and Richard Rodgers were probably the 2 bright spots for me. I mean, Miles Sanders played pretty good. He played a little bit better in the first half, I think, than he did the second half. He coughed the ball up, too, early in that game, which kind of stinks. I mean, we Eagles drove the ball all the way down the field. I think it was 1st and goal from like the 5-yard line. They give it to Miles Sanders, and he coughs it up. So never good. I don't know. I mean, if they could have scored that touchdown, you're looking at a different ball game. And because I think So, yeah, after that, I mean, the Browns did go down the field, and that's when the Kareem Hunt touchdown got called back. So, I mean, I guess they didn't score off of that. But still, man, like you said, I would like to see Hurts.
They just made it the 99-yard field again.
Yeah, that's just true. I mean, they flipped the field. So it's just – and, man, it just seems like every week, like the Browns play in the worst weather possible, and it just falls right into their favor because they love to pound the ball and run, and it kind of limits the mistakes that Mayfield can make. And every week they're playing in some game with wind and rain and everything, and they're just forced to run the ball. They would run the ball anyway, but, I mean, I think if the weather was nice, Baker might have threw a little bit more than he did yesterday. But he didn't look that great either, like you said. I mean, Darius Slay had an easy pick that he dropped. I think there was a penalty on that play, but Baker just kind of flipped that ball up in the air, and Darius Slay was right there. I think there was a penalty on the Eagles, but, I mean, he didn't look that great, and I'd like to see Hurts go in there. I mean, like you said, there's nothing worse can really happen. I mean, if you put him in there and you lose, then at least you see what you got. And he's a young kid, and he brings another element. I mean, I know Wentz can scramble from time to time, but Hurts is more of a pure runner, I think, at quarterback. He's a big kid. He can bring a different style game. I mean, he pounded the ball a little bit at Oklahoma and at Alabama. So I'm not saying he could do that in the NFL, but, I mean, he would bring a different aspect to the game, and, you know, in our division that could help winning a couple games. But at this point, I don't really want to win any more games. Not when you got Jameis Winston playing quarterback. So I will not refer to him as Carson Wentz anymore. He's Jameis Wentz, and I will continue to call him that until he's not in the game. So him and Peterson might have to go out together on their shields because, like you said, Peterson says he's not taking them out. So if I were Peterson, I would, but
it makes you wonder, after paying what Carson Wentz all the money they did, if maybe Jeffrey Lurie or Howie Roseman, if they're pulling the strings there and making them stay in since they paid the money, but who knows?
Could be true.
Either way, as we go through these games, I'm realizing that there really weren't a whole lot of great football games, because here's another one, the Falcons and the Saints. That wasn't a great game. Now, Matt Ryan historically plays pretty well against the Saints, but not today. History did not repeat itself. 232 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. Todd Gurley had a whopping 8 carries for 26 yards. The key takeaway here is he was outsnapped by Brian Hill, the supposed backup, for the first time this year. And, you know, I've talked about a couple of times that Brian Hill looks like he has way more juice than Gurley. So I'm interested to see how this goes. Probably nothing, probably just a little blip on the radar, but something to pay attention to, I guess. Calvin Ridley went 5 for 90. Julio got hurt, so he only has 2 catches for 39 yards. Russell Gage was 7 for 58. But, dude, the Falcons, man, 8 sacks. Matt Ryan got pummeled 8 times. Now the Saints, Taysom Hill, gosh, I really wanted him to flop, but the Saints had a decent game plan for him. Most of his plays were high percentage throws, and they let him run. Now, I will say, though, he did have some – I mean, he had some interceptions just flat out dropped. He had one pass to Emmanuel Sanders that Emmanuel Sanders caught, but it was a horrifically underthrown ball that he had to come back for. So he did get bailed out a few times, but it was 18 for 23 for 233 yards. He had 10 carries for 51 and 2 rushing touchdowns. So fantasy-wise, you are happy with that, especially if he was your flex or your tight end. Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray, they split work, 13 and 12 carries each, 45 and 49 yards each. Nothing to write home about. Kamara is the one that scored the touchdown. No catches for Kamara, and I think I heard today that is the first game in Kamara's career that he did not catch a pass. Like 54 games that he caught a pass, did not get one there. Michael Thomas came through for you, 9 catches for 104. I was a little worried about him. Emmanuel Sanders, we talked about, 4 for 66. And did you know the Saints defense has not allowed a 100-yard rusher since Samaje Perine in 2017? That's impressive.
Yeah, man, Saints defense I thought played really good in this game. And, they were all over Matt Ryan. And, I guess it's a little easier when Julio, he's standing on the sideline, which is never good when you have him on fantasy. Sit him standing on the sideline with his helmet off. I don't know what's wrong with him, man. I know he might – yeah, he's hurt, but, man, he just doesn't look right this year. I don't know. It's kind of a bummer. But Ridley played good. What was that?
I was going to say he probably heard me say that Calvin Ridley was the new number 1 receiver on the Falcons. He got sad about it.
Yeah, he hurt his feelings. Now he's standing on the bench with a sourpuss on his face and not wanting to play. And like you said, look, Taysom Hill, I'm not a huge fan of him. But, I'll have to tip my hat to him. He played relatively pretty well. They won the game by 15 points, so can't complain. He only threw 5 incompletions, but like you said, I think all 5 of those incompletions probably could have been interceptions, or at least 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, and he did fumble. I think he had a long run and he fumbled, so that was his turnover. But, man, I guess if you have to look at it, I guguess he kind of outplayed Matt Ryan, in this game.
Think about that.
If you look at it, it's kind of crazy. And like you said, Kamara, without the catch, if Taysom Hill is going to be the guy moving forward, I don't know. That might just be I don't know. I'm kind of
Kamara. You can't.
Yeah, you can't sit him, but it's like I'd be worried a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because he gets a ton of points. When you're taking Kamara and he's on your team, if you're taking him in daily, you're at least looking for 4 to 6 catches. You know what I'm saying, with some yards and.
He was on pace before the 0 to crush Christian McCaffrey's single season receptions record by a running back.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he was. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, he's going to have to make up a little work now that he threw a big goose egg this week. But we'll see, man. I don't know. I guess you kind of have to keep rolling with Taysom Hill. I don't know. Sean Payton kind of makes it seem like it's like a week-to-week thing. He said, Taysom Hill was the best guy for this game, which makes you think, like, could he really just, put Taysom Hill in this game and then start Jameis next week? I don't think he can, but –
yeah,
he makes you think, though. I don't know. I guess that's what he wants you to do. But, man, kind of crazy. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I know Drew Brees, man. I think they report him out a day or 2 ago. I think he broke like every rib in his body. So I don't know how he's going to come back in 2 weeks. He's going to be out a little while. So I don't think Drew Brees probably come back till playoff time. So we'll see if especially at this point, they're kind of. The way that defense is playing, I think they can win a few more games. They have what are they, 7-3? So,
atop the NFC South.
Yeah, they'll just keep riding Taysom Hill. If they go on a losing streak, they might, Breeze might try to come back a little earlier than he should, but I don't think they will with the way that defense is playing.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Especially, now this next game, broke my heart. The Bengals and the Washington football team, poor Joe Burrow tore his ACL and MCL. So with both of those injuries, both those ligaments torn, he is questionable for even week 1 next year with all the rehab he's going to have to do. And he was doing so well and in the running for Rookie of the Year. So you got to feel bad for him. And Ryan Finley is not a good quarterback. He's not good at football. So fire up all defenses that are going against the Bengals, and I believe it's the Giants this coming week because they're going to eat him up. There's no reason to bring Joe Mixon back now. He is your running back, and he's been hurt the past couple of weeks. No need to play him. So if you got him and hoping to have him for fantasy playoffs, if I'm the Bengals coaching staff, like, look, my young quarterback is out. No reason to bring my running back. So I would just put him on IR and just let him heal up and be ready for next year. T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, you got to be worried about what not having Joe Burrow is going to do for them. Gio Bernard disappointed. He went 9 for 18, 4 catches, 37 yards, and Boyd luckily got targeted heavily in the first half before Burrow got hurt, 9 catches for 85. T. Higgins, 3 for 26. Now, he got targeted twice deep and just missed on both of those. So he could have had a much bigger day, but, he had 10 targets. A.J. Green found the end zone for the first time in like 45 years. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see who old Finley's go-to guy is going to be. And for Washington, is a big win they had in the race for the embarrassing title of NFC East champ. The winner, whoever wins the NFC East, should really give up their playoff spot to a team that actually deserves it. Big drop-off for Alex Smith after throwing for almost 400 yards last week, only 166, a touchdown and a pick. Gibson looked good again this week. This guy's coming around. 94 yards rushing on only 16 carries and a touchdown. McKissick, only 3 for 26. He did not see his double-digit targets he's been looking for and been working with. However, he did get you 43 rushing yards, which isn't really his style. He's more the pass catcher. Terry McLaurin, 5 for 84. He's always going to get you double-digit points. And Logan Thomas, big letdown for the tight end. He's gone over 10 points in 3 of the last 4 games, and he got you 2 catches for 6 yards. Thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah, man, this is a sad game. I mean, Burrow, man, that kid's, the number one overall pick.
Good guy.
Yeah, good kid. I mean, he says all the right things, and he's been playing lights out. I mean, him and Herbert were kind of, neck and neck for that Rookie of the Year, I guess. I guess that's kind of going to go to Herbert now, I guess, at this point. I mean, if he plays all the games, I mean, you would think Herbert will probably win that now. So it kind of stinks that Burrow doesn't get to finish out the year. But, man, it's tough to see. And it was an ugly man. I mean, when I was watching it, I saw the highlight of it and kind of he just went down wrong. And you can kind of see his knee, like, pop. And it looked like it popped. It looked like it popped out and then it popped back in his knee socket. I don't know. It was pretty tough, man. But it was nice to see Chase Young, McLaurin, and I think one of those other guys from the Redskins ran over there. I guess they were all from – they said, Burrow played at Ohio State for a few years, so they all had that, Ohio State bond, and they were kind of, wished him well when he was getting carted off. Sad to see. But like you said, I mean, Ryan Finley he's not good at football at all. And, man, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd at this point, I mean, you're definitely probably not going to start them. And, I mean, they're almost borderline droppable at this point. I mean, with him.
Well,
playing.
Let's give it a little bit before
we'll give it a week or two.
Some of our best receivers.
We'll give it a week or two. But, I mean, look, it's coming down to crunch time now. You don't have much time. I mean, if you're in a playoff race in fantasy.
But who are you picking up? I mean, let's say.
I don't know. Yeah, it depends. But, I mean, you're definitely not starting them, I don't think, this week. So.
Like one of the best receivers out there, I think right now you could pick up would be either Denzel, and we're going to actually, I have this game next on the docket is Denzel Mims or Brashad Perriman. They're performing with Joe Flacco, I'd like to have them at the end of my bench, but I'm not dropping one of these Bengals guys. I'm not dropping Higgins.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're not gonna play him. I don't think this week. You'll give it a couple weeks, but yeah, man, I don't know. He's just not good, and we'll see how it goes. But if I were them, I mean, I'd look to almost pick somebody else up. I don't know who else they could get, but. I don't know. He just doesn't look good. I don't know. I would try to sign – I don't know. Get anybody, man. Sign somebody.
Josh McCown. He's
somebody,
out there.
Yeah, like a veteran, like somebody like that. Just a guy that can sling it a little bit, man. That's going to throw some picks, but at least he'll get the ball in the air. Ryan Finley just looks kind of like he's scared out there, like a deer in the headlights, but just doesn't have a ton of experience. And, like you said, as far as the Redskins go, they get their 3rd win of the season, and I think all of the – teams in the NFC now have 3 wins, and the Eagles are only winning because they tied the Bengals. So
nobody cares.
We could have a division with the whole division could be 3-7, which would be kind of weird. But
gross,
man, Alex Smith, like you said, he had an ugly game, and I'm more and more impressed with Antonio Gibson. He's kind of really picking it up. So I mean, I think if you picked him up, I think you're pretty impressed with what he's doing this year. And McKissick had an okay game, didn't get as many receptions as he usually gets, but we'll see what happens moving forward.
Yeah, man. And this next one was kind of funny. The Jets and the Chargers. And the very first, when I was taking notes for this game, the very first thing I wrote down was the Jets almost won.
Mm-hmm.
They almost won a game against the poor Chargers. And that would have been very Charger-like for them to be up 26 or 24-6 or something at one point, and then have the Jets of all teams come back and win. But alas, it did not happen. 28-34, the Jets lost. Man, the Chargers are weird. I don't know how that happens. I said last week that I would rather have the Jets offense than the Bears, and I'm pretty sure I'm proven right. Joe Flacco, 15 for 30, 206 yards, but he did have 2 touchdowns on only 1 pick. And like I said, he was barely outscored by Lamar Jackson this week. And after all the little Michael Pirine talk about he's going to start carrying the load, and we're going to see what he has after the bye week, Frank Gore leads the team in carries with 15. Pirine only had 8. Gore had 61 yards rushing. Pirine only had 33. Oddly enough, they both averaged exactly 4.1 yards a carry. Pirine, though, just came out before we got on here. I checked, and he has a high ankle sprain, so he's going to be out anyway. And Frank Gore, it's a Frank Gore show again in New York, so get excited. Get your what number is he? Get your Frank Gore jerseys out. He's back home. That old Randy Moss little song he had. Get your 84 jerseys out. I'm back home. It's Frank Gore time again, man. So that is awful. No receiver had more than 4 catches. Denzel Mims, 3 for 71. Perriman, 2 for 51, and another touchdown. This Flacco to Brashad Perriman connection that they had in Baltimore is the real deal. And I bet Baltimore still wishes they had Perriman back because they would have a real wide receiver. Chris Herndon got the other touchdown, and Jameson Crowder, big disappointment, only 1 for 16. Not good.
Yeah, man. Like you said, this game was kind of thought – I mean, look, to me it was closer than it was because the Chargers were leading 24-6 at one point. They were winning 31-13, 34-19, and then Flacco kind of threw that touchdown there at the end. So if you bet on this game, you're not happy because the spread was 9.5 and they lost by 6. So Flacco threw that touchdown at the end, kind of destroyed the cover there. But, I mean, Herbert, 366, he kind of throttled it down a little bit in the second half. He had 270
and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, 277 at halftime. So, I mean, you would thought he would probably go for 425, but he didn't. I know the Jets were kind of missing a few guys in the secondary, so, you kind of expected him to light them up. But
yeah, and I'm telling you, Justin Herbert is going high in drafts next year. It's going to be Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Patty Mahomes, probably Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, especially if you give him another wide receiver. And I'm telling you, Herbert, they're all going to get drafted in like the top 6 rounds. Now, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I'm not saying you should do it. I am saying that in 2 leagues this year, I drafted Wilson in the 6th round and Murray in the 6th round, another one. And I'm not upset about it. Normally, I'm a waiter on QB. I'll wait and double-digit rounds and get my QB in the 12th round if I can. But I'm telling you, these quarterbacks are going to go early, and it's tough to argue against it. I mean, Herbert is ridiculous. And Kalen Ballage, this guy, 44 yards rushing, but he had 7 catches for 27 yards. Keenan Allen is a man amongst both his routes. You just can't cover this dude when he's running his routes. I mean, no one can cover Keenan Allen. This is the second time this year he's had 19 targets in a game.
That's wild.
16 catches, 145 and a touchdown. Your boy Mike Williams had a game, 4 catches for 72 and a 39-yard touchdown. Hunter Henry, is he becoming a thing? Is Herbert starting to look his way more? 4 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown for him as well.
Yeah. Herbert, man, I don't know how much he used a tight end at Oregon, but I mean, they must be telling him, "Hey, son, we use tight ends."
They have tight ends
in the NFL. That's what I'm saying. He probably doesn't. He probably thought Hunter Henry was like the right tackle or something. So they're probably like, "Hey, son, that kid could catch some passes." And he was like, "All right, yeah, I'll start throwing it to him every once in a while now." So
extra tackle's weird. Why?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to complain about it, but yeah, I thought he's an extra lineman, but
that's funny.
We'll see, man. But yeah, dude, like you said, Keenan Allen. I mean, this guy, he's a man amongst boys out there. Like you said, 19 targets. And look, he dropped a pass and then had 2 pass interference penalties. So this dude could have had like 19. He could have caught all 19 passes and he fumbled on the 1 yard line in the first quarter. So, I mean, he would have had another TD, which is crazy. I mean, you're looking at, I mean, wow. I mean, he had a hell of a game already, and you're looking at, I mean, he could have had, 18 for 150 and 2 touchdowns, but every week he's a stud, man. And Herbert just keeps getting better. I know it was the Jets, but he does this against a lot of other teams too. I mean, he did this against the Chiefs and some of those other teams. So yeah. And it looks like I said earlier, I mean, with Burrow going down, I mean, I guess, old Herbert's probably going to win Rookie of the Year, but
as it should.
Yeah. He might've won it with Burrow playing the full year anyway, but it's kind of stinks. We don't get to kind of see them. I kind of liked comparing their stats every week and, seeing how they progressed and how they did. And, man, I hope Burrow can come back. Like you said, he might be, because this is late in the year, man. This is tough. It's not like it happened at the beginning of the year for old Joey. So, he might be out a month. You never know. So it's tough. But, Chargers finally won a close game, which they never do. So
that's right. It didn't have to be close, though.
Yeah, it didn't have to be. It was 30. They were up by 15, and then you're like, all right, I'm turning this off. And then you look back, and you're like, oh, wow, they only won by 6. What happened?
Well, fantasy football hates me. All I needed is Leonard Fournette to not do good, and Mike Evans gets sacked on the 2-yard line, and Fournette just runs in a touchdown. So now my lead is down to 2 points, and so Fournette can't score 2 points, and I hate fantasy football. Anyway, we talked about Burrow and Herbert as rookie quarterbacks. The next rookie quarterback did not fare so well this week in the Dolphins-Broncos game. Mm-hmm. Poor Tua Tagovailoa got yanked because he was not good.
He doesn't have the magic.
That's right. Ryan Fitzmagic steps in. He left his fairy dust, though, on the bus or something. He wasn't planning on playing. So, unfortunately, he did not bring that magic with him. Mm-hmm. But Denver won 20-13, but it should not have been that close. Denver's offense is not good. And Miami's defense is good. It's actually one of the best defenses in the league. But this matchup did not go as expected. The Broncos put up 459 yards of offense compared to the Dolphins' 223. Denver averaged 7.3 yards per play. Miami's was only 3.7. Think about that. The Chiefs scored 35 points this week and averaged a full yard less per play than the Broncos did. Just strange. And the Tua, like we said, got benched for Fitz, but Fitz had a chance at the end of the game to get a touchdown pass snuck in there, but unfortunately, it ended in an interception in the end zone. But I will say that in the 10 minutes that Ryan Fitzpatrick was in, he ended up with more passing yards and more production than Tua did in 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Ahmad got 12 carries for 43 yards, but he did add 5 catches for 31. Devontae Parker went 6 for 61 and a touchdown, and Gesicki 4 for 43. Again, sounds terrible, but you'll take that from the tight end. And breaking news for the Broncos, Drew Lock's terrible. 18 for 30, 270 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. Melvin Gordon, he had a game, 84 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Both backs, him and Phillip Lindsay, both averaged over 5 yards a carry. Tim Patrick had 5 catches for 119 yards, but I think 69 of those yards or 61 of those yards happened on a ridiculous throwaway at the end of the game where there was 5 seconds to go, and they just wanted Drew Lock to throw the ball as far as he could so that the clock would just run out and the game would be over. Well, they forgot to cover Tim Patrick, and he actually caught the ball, which was ridiculous. And so that really padded both of their stats. Noah Fant went 4 for 55. That's the most yards he's had receiving since week 2, and he hasn't scored since then either. But still, top 12 tight end on the season.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy's got – now, he only had 3 catches for 37 yards, but he's had 40 targets over the last 4 weeks. 40 for Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. I mean, that just shows Locke's, inability to get these guys the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I mean, he's just not – I don't know, man. He's just not really that good. They might be looking for somebody else like we've been talking about. And, man, it's just hard to like the kid, man. Like that Chargers game, he doesn't play that good the whole game, and then he throws a touchdown at the end, and he's like dancing off the field. Like, I know you're excited, man. Go celebrate with your teammates, but he's like doing some weird TikTok dance, like on the sideline, and like rapping on the sideline. I don't know. He has a punchable face, and I just don't like him. I don't know. It's hard to root for him, man. And the Dolphins, this is a game. I mean, shoot, the Dolphins are playing good, and they gotta. I mean, you would think. I mean, Tua, he hasn't been playing well, but they've been winning games, and you would think that they could beat the Dolphins with that defense. And I picked up their defense, started, and they got me a whopping -1 points this week. So
not as bad as my Lions defense.
Real happy about the -1 there from the Dolphins. That's great, but man, it's kind of weird too. Like you said, Fitzpatrick goes in the fourth. Fitzpatrick goes in the fourth quarter and ends up with like 35 more yards than Tua, and I think they said Tua's going back to the starter, which is kind of weird. So I don't really agree with that. I mean, look, you can't be doing that. I mean, look, I know Brian Flores is an NFL coach, and it is what it is. Tua wasn't doing well, but it's just like, if you're going to put him in, which was kind of controversial anyway, you kind of just have to roll with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be – I hate when they do the whole, like, I don't know, taking guys out every week. And this is going to be kind of like almost an every week thing, I think, at this point. And I don't think –
Well, the Bears are too. They don't know who's going to play.
Yeah, that's tough.
Mitchell Trubisky or Nick Foles. Whatever.
Yeah, them too. And, man, I think, he
made – healthy organization.
He made the bold decision to put Tua in there. I think you just have to ride with it. I mean, look, they didn't win the game anyway, so –
That's what I'm saying.
What's it do? All it does is, crush his confidence a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He's out there worried about making mistakes, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll make him play any better or not, but I don't know, man. Fitzpatrick, they probably would be doing better with Fitzpatrick in there. I mean, if he could start this game, they might have won this one, but you never know, I guess. And I don't know. That defense didn't look too good today. They gave up chunk play after chunk play against the Broncos, who aren't that good. So they deserve to lose this one.
Cowboys and Vikings, 31-28. Cowboys win. They also get to 3 wins. Andy Dalton only had 203 yards passing, but he had 3 touchdowns, only 1 pick. So good for you, Andy Dalton. Not a bad showing. Should have been more interceptions, but the Vikings players just decided not to catch them. Zeke finally showed up with 103 yards on the ground, 21 carries, 2 catches, one of them being for a touchdown. Tony Pollard got a touchdown as well on a long run. Again, just trying to annoy us because nobody started Tony Pollard. Amari Cooper, 6 for 81. CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 34 and a touchdown. And this touchdown catch, man, if anybody out there did not see this catch, you have got to go back and look at it. It was ridiculous. Dalton Schultz got the other touchdown on 4 for 25. Now for the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, very efficient, 22 for 30, 314 yards and 3 touchdowns with no picks. Way to go, Kirky. Dalvin Cook, 27 carries, 115 yards at touchdown, plus 5 for 45. Now, if you look at just those guys' numbers, Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook, I mean, how do you not win that football game? Adam Thielen, 8 catches, 123 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That dude's leading the NFL in touchdown catches right now. He's got 11. He is unstoppable in the red zone. Great route running. Justin Jefferson, he does well. Only 3 catches, but 86 yards and a touchdown. Theoretically, the Vikings could end up with the number 1 fantasy running back and 2 top 12 receivers. Jefferson's currently 15th. That would be pretty impressive for the Vikings to do, especially with an offense that you don't think of as one of the better offenses in the league.
Yeah, man, that would be pretty wild. This game was, man, I didn't see it going this way. Obviously, I didn't see Dallas scoring 31 this week. But like you said, I mean, Dalton played pretty well. And that CeeDee Lamb catch was probably one of the best of this year. I mean, it's, that's top 2 catch of the, 1 or 2 catch of the year. I think Zeke had the first 100-yard game this whole year. So like maybe they'll start feeding him a little bit. And, man, I've been kind of high on the Vikings a little bit lately. I thought they were going to make a run, and they kind of blow a game that they should win. So we'll see how they bounce back. But I don't know. You can't ask much more from, the offense. I think it was the defense this game. I know they were down, I think, 4 or 5 guys on defense. That's not that great to begin with. So I know that didn't help. But, man, I didn't see the Cowboys, putting up 31. So tough week. And Pollard, man, scores that 42-yard run. I have Zeke on a couple teams, and man, I would have loved to see 145 yards from Zeke with that TD, but Pollard steals it. So, but well, I'll see what happens. See what happens on Thanksgiving. I know the Cowboys are up on Thursday, so see if they can continue. Because if they win that game on Thursday, they'll be leading the great NFC East, I guess, at that point. So
No, whoever wins will be in the league.
yeah, it's true. Because I mean, the Eagles and
At least until Monday, right, when the Eagles play.
yeah, at least until Monday against the Eagles play against the Seahawks, so that's going to be a loss. So don't look for them to have their fourth win this week. But hey, man, we'll see. Yeah, that's going to be for first place.
Yeah. Oh, well, gross. All right. So the Colts upset the Packers 34-31. I'm not sure too many people pick this game. I know the Colts have a good defense, but you still don't think that the Colts offense and Phillip Rivers is going to be able to keep up with the Green Bay, especially if Green Bay scores 31 points. But hey, such is life. Rodgers goes 3-11, 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Aaron Jones only got to 41 yards on 10 carries, but a touchdown and another 4 catches for 30. Devontae Adams every single week. I'm tired of saying his name. Not really, because he is wonderful. 7 catches, 106, and a touchdown. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 3 for 55, but he had a very typical game for him. He catches this ridiculous 49-yard bomb from Aaron Rodgers that Rodgers just kind of flicks down the field. I have no idea how he ended up coming down with it. And then with the game on the line, he fumbles, lost the fumble. Colts pick it up, go down, kick a field goal, game over. See ya. MVS has got to, I don't know, man, he's so maddening. He can make these big plays, but then he can completely lose a game for you. Robert Tonyan, 5 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. And Jamal Williams had 1 catch. It just happened to be in the end zone. Phillip Rivers for the Colts, 288 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pick. My friend, Phillip Rivers is in danger of becoming a decent streaming option at quarterback. He has 300 yards passing and or 3 touchdowns in 4 of the last 5 games. This is not very Phillip Rivers-like. But if you're in a tight spot, you'll definitely take it. Jonathan Taylor, he finally gets his 22 carries, and he gets 90 yards plus 4 catches for 24 yards. You're happy with that. If you're an NFL head coach and you get over 100 yards of total offense from your running back, you are pumped. And we were talking about that just last week. He needs to get those carries, and he did not disappoint. Nyheim Hines, on the other hand, he did let you down after having a very big week last year. 33 total yards for him and only 3 catches. Michael Pittman, 3 for 66 and a touchdown. I'm telling you, he is going to be pretty good in this league. 11 total guys caught a pass, with Doyle and Trey Burton getting the other touchdowns from Rivers.
Yeah, this is a good game, man. I watched this one. I thought the Packers would pull this one out. This one seemed like one of those games Aaron Rodgers would just find a way to win, but old MVS kind of ruined those plans.
Sure did.
Rodgers had a good game. Rivers had a good game. I know Rivers was kind of limping around, I think, towards the end of the game. They put Brissett in, I think, for a little while, and then Rivers went back in. So I didn't read anything today about that injury. I don't know what it was. It looked like kind of like an ankle or some kind of lower leg injury. So I'll have to monitor that, I guess, see if I'm sure he'll tough it out. But like you said, JT, a good game. I don't know why he couldn't have been doing this 2 months ago. He had a few games earlier on in the year where he showed signs of, breakouts like this. And I thought he had a good game. I mean, 22 carries. He scored a touchdown. They wiped out on a holding penalty. So he could have had a $110 and a touchdown. But he got called back on a holding there from the guard or tackle, I think. I think it was the guard had a holding penalty. So, even though he had a good game, Nyheim Hines, I flexed him out on one of my teams, and he didn't do me no good this week. A little bit better than the Miami defense, but not much better. And like you said, Michael Pittman, I mean, this kid, he's been turning on lately. I mean, earlier in the year, I know he was hurt for a little while, but he's been kind of putting it together. I mean, he looks like he's another big kid. I mean, from USC.
This is the best rookie class of wide receivers in the history.
It's crazy. And it seems like the dang Eagles picked the only guy that's just not really doing anything right now. Jalen Reagor just kind of looks like an average, just a fast.
There's got to be a 7th round receiver out there that's worse than Reagor.
Yeah, sure. I guess our receiver is Travis Fulgham, I guess, at this point. I mean, he did something, but man, Pittman's a stud. I mean, look, he's up there with some of those other guys. I know if he played the whole year, his numbers would be a lot better, but he did miss a few of those games earlier in the year. But yeah, and he's from USC. You know, some of those guys, they always say, those USC receivers never really pan out, or not a lot of them do. So
Hopefully
uh,
he will. Next,
he's
Keyshawn Johnson.
yeah, he's kind of breaking the mold there. So he looks pretty good. And yeah, man, Rivers is playing better lately, and this is a big win for them. So, um, but man, it was a good game though. But I would have liked to see what the Packers would have done minus the MVS fumble, but I
Right.
think that they probably would have won that game. But hey, and Blankenship, man, that kid with the glasses, the kicker
Love
for
him.
the Colts, that kid's automatic, man, and he
Respect
had
the specs.
yeah, he had ice in his veins, man. He went out there and he nailed a couple field goals that I saw without even a blink of an eye, man. So they found a solid kicker, I guess.
Oh
So
yeah.
good for them, man. That kid's pretty money.
And then Sunday Night Football, also very entertaining to watch. The Chiefs and
Mm-hmm.
the Raiders. Kansas City won, but the Raiders know how to play the Chiefs. I don't know if Gruden gets them up for the game or what it is, but Las Vegas won the first meeting between these two teams. And, I mean, the game was 35-31. They had a shot to win this one as well. Patty Mahomes, 348 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Mahomes has 2 interceptions on the year, both of them against Las Vegas. CEH finally, I mean, he looked really good. 14 carries, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns. He looked good with the ball in his hands. Tyreek Hill, 11 catches on, I think, 14 targets, 102 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce, 8 catches for 127 and a touchdown. Dude, listen, I don't do tight ends early normally. I don't draft them in the first 2 rounds. But look, Travis Kelce is 60 points higher than the second tight end, Darren Waller, who is a great tight end. Kelce is outscoring him by 60 points on the year. I mean, this guy is he's on another level. He's on another planet. He's probably from another planet. It's unreal for him. The Raiders, Derek Carr looked great. He was basically flawless, 275 yards passing, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Josh Jacobs, 17 carries, only 55 yards rushing, but he did get you a touchdown the first quarter. Man, 11 receivers caught a pass. 8 of them only had 1 catch. So 8 of the 11 receivers that caught a pass from Derek Carr only had 1 of them. Witten's happened to be a touchdown. Waller, who we just talked about, 7 for 88 and a touchdown. He is a fantastic tight end. He's just not Travis Kelce. And then Nelson Aguilar, your boy, 6 catches, 88 yards as well, and another touchdown for him. It's weird that he is the go-to receiver for Derek Carr and the Raiders.
Yeah, man, it pains me every week to see this because this is a guy that couldn't catch a cold with the Eagles, and man, he looks like he's an average. He looks like an NFL player with the Raiders. Man,
Strange to see.
it's crazy, but man, like you said, the Raiders just kind of know how to play the Chiefs. I know they beat them earlier in the year, and I got a lot of buzz, I guess, early in the year. The Chiefs did the old victory lap, or the Raiders did the old victory lap, I guess, with the bus around the stadium, and Andy Reid seemed a little mad about that. I guess he didn't say much in the media, but he probably. It's never good to tick off the old Chiefs, I don't think. So you don't want to do that, but Gruden's a good coach. He knows how to play the Chiefs, man, and the Raiders look tough. It's just tough to beat Andy Reid, man. He was coming off the bye week, and this guy's money coming off the bye. So, but it was a tight game, and I'm sure Patrick Mahomes probably doesn't want to. He's not really looking forward to playing the Raiders anytime soon, man, because like you said, his 2 picks came against the Raiders this year. And in my mind, I mean, look, I think Mahomes
The Raiders are making the playoffs. The Raiders are making.
Yeah, they're a playoff team, man. They are a playoff team, I think. So I think this year, especially with the extra wild card team, I think they're definitely going to find a way in. And I think Mahomes, man, I think he's right there for MVP conversation. I mean, with 27 and 2 picks, I mean, at this point, Russ has had a few. Yeah, Russ has had a few bad weeks. They won this week, like we talked about earlier, but he didn't have great stats and put up big numbers this week. But the last couple of weeks he's had some picks and turnovers, and Mahomes just kind of his teams win, man. And if he only throws 4 to 5 picks, I mean it's going to be hard to beat him out as MVP. But I don't know. And I thought Le'Veon, like you said, I mean, even Le'Veon Bell had a decent game. I saw. I mean, not a decent game, but I mean, he had some decent plays. I mean, I saw him in there. He
Right.
looked like he was running it a little harder than you've seen him in the past. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
he scored a touchdown, and CEH finally puts together another good game. He's been kind of disappointing. I know he's kind of sporadic, I think, fantasy
Yep.
wise, but he's a young kid, and I don't know, man. Maybe they've been kind of saving him up towards the end for the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what Andy Reid's plans are for him. And Tyreek Hill, man, this guy's just, I don't know, man, just that speed. And
Yeah. Electric.
yeah, he's just electric, man. Every time he gets the ball, it's just crazy. You think he's going to take it to the house. And he catches almost everything you throw to him. And he's such a small little guy.
Mhm.
But man, he's always wide open with that speed. And Mahomes just finds him, man. And like you said, Kelsey is just on another planet. I'm not a huge tight end guy. I know we kind of always bash tight ends here on this show. And, there's not a whole lot to
Only
some
when
weeks to
they're
talk about.
deserving of it.
Yeah, and but man, that guy is he's a wide receiver out there on the field. That's just in a tight end's body, but he's a stud, man. But yeah, like you said, man, Raiders. I wouldn't. They didn't win the game, but to split with the Chiefs this year and to play 2 games like they have, I mean, you can hang your hat on that. They just need to go out and take care of business against the teams that they should beat. They seem to be one of those teams that kind of fall into the trap and play down to their opponents. So they need to get out there and get after some of those teams that they should beat and play games like this. And I think they'll be fine moving forward. So I'm kind of excited to see what they do this year towards the end of the year.
Yep. All right. That about does it, man. Wraps up another week. I know we're missing the Monday night game, but that's all right. I want to make sure that everybody out there, first off, thanks for listening. Thanks for checking in. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving break. Enjoy the time spent with family and friends. Enjoy the extra football we get on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And big shout out to Diaper Dust for being our first sponsor. So check it out, thediaperdust.com on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Yep. Good. Another good week. And like you said, I hope everybody has a good holiday, gets to spend some time with family. I know the world's getting kind of crazy again, but, just enjoy the time you have with your family and, I guess take your precautions, but, don't miss out on spending time with family and enjoying some football. I know, when I was a little kid, I always loved going over to my grandparents' house and watching football with my granddad and all that. And I think they give you an extra game nowadays. So I guess you'll get that Baltimore-Pittsburgh game at 8 o'clock. 8:20, I guess. But yeah, everybody enjoy their holiday. And like you said, we'll be back at it next week, coming at you probably regular time next week. So check us out next week. Check us out tomorrow. We'll post this up. You can catch us on every platform like we always talk about: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora. I don't know, any kind of YouTube. Yeah, YouTube video, Facebook. We always post the videos, obviously. Like, comment, share our stuff. We don't care if you
invite your friends.
Yeah, invite your friends. Keep going keep building the brand, and we'll keep pumping out these episodes every week, and keep putting it out there for you guys. Hope everybody listens to it, enjoys it, and has a good holiday week. So we'll be back at it next week.
All right, buddy. Take it easy. See you in a week.
All right, man. Take it easy.